Hey everybody, Sam here with another In Defense of Bad Movies Minisode. This is the podcast where we watch a movie that is generally regarded as bad and at least one of us defends it as good. The next movie we're going to be watching is 1991's Hook, the tale of Peter Pan all grown up. And Rotten Tomatoes has it at 29%.
Bullshit.
That's weird. Little audio problem here. Sorry about that, folks. So join us in a few weeks as we discuss that, as our very own Loren discusses that. Spoiler alert. What the hell? I'll just spoil it. Bobby doesn't like it. He's been pretty outspoken about not liking it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't really remember. So to see what happens if Loren changes Bobby's mind, if Bobby changes Loren's mind, and just to see how I feel about it, join us in a few weeks. And of course, one of the things that we do on our minisodes is a show that we like to call Themes Like Old Times. Take it away, Sam and Loren. Hey everybody, Sam here with Themes Like Old Times. Of course, I'm, as always, joined by my lovely co-host, Loren.
I'm here too.
Hi, Loren.
Hi.
How are you?
All right.
Now, earlier in the week, or I guess it was last week, I was saying that there was something just like hit me. And I wanted to talk about it during the episode.
All right.
Which is this.
And you wouldn't tell me at the time. You're like, no, I'm saying for the episode.
No, I was being very cagey.
It was very frustrating.
Because I wanted this to be organic. And now all your waiting will have paid off. Now,
I mean, I forgot almost immediately after we had that conversation. But during the course of that conversation, I was very frustrated.
And that was, okay, so it used to be that TV theme shows would like kind of explain the situation, or there was a good 30-second to a minute long theme song, and as advertising time got cut into shows more deeply, they would shorten it to the point that there were no theme songs. And I can think of a handful of shows right now that there really is no theme song, like The Good Place. It has some teeny little jingle, almost like a commercial jingle, and it shows the name of the show, The Good Place. And I think it started with Frasier. That was the first one I know that did that. And we'll talk a little bit more about Frasier in a bit. But the point I was thinking was, with more and more media going digital and getting away from the TV and having commercials model, they can go back to having full theme songs.
That's interesting, and some certainly do. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to recall, like, Orange is the New Black has a pretty good extended theme song.
Kimmy Schmidt's
got a great theme song we should talk about at some point. This is very true. And it serves an entirely different purpose because, obviously we don't require catching people up on what the show is from week to week. So
it's more of a tone setting and a way to shove the credits in the beginning of the episode without having it over the show.
That's an excellent point as well, and something I really appreciate about that. Stranger Things really enjoys their opener.
Yeah, and I know on Netflix you don't need to worry about annoying the viewer because they've got their little skip intro button going, which I rarely do because
I haven't used that ever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as our listeners will know, we like theme songs. So I am certainly not going to skip it. So if I'm binging, which I don't do very often, but every once in a while, then I might stop. Or, skip the intro. But otherwise, I'm going to watch it because I like the theme song. So
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I'd like to know if you're right about this, if Frasier was sort of the first one to do it, or at least to make it popular. Because this is also the time, the 90s, when they started playing with the outros of shows. It always used to be pretty standard, like we play our credits slowly over music or freeze frames from the show.
Right, yeah.
And 90s when they started messing with that, maybe when it was like, that's when they, would push the credits to half the screen and run the ad on the other side, or like work on, getting those out of there as quickly as possible. And
I think the network shows, usually they would show the credits uncut for the most part. I know with Frasier they did.
Yeah. With very good reason. Frasier's outro was the best part.
It was indeed.
Not the best part, but it was great.
Yeah. And because that's when they would play the theme song, the tossed salads and scrambled eggs. And they would have a button, a silent.
Completely silent. And that was brilliant. That was just to not interrupt the song, not interrupt the credits, but you're, seeing a whole little vignette. And
it was, because it was this button that it may not have anything to do with the show at all, it's 100% not necessary. So what the in syndication, what they can do, and what I know they did do, which was frustrating, they would shrink it to the side, and oftentimes have station promos over it, which was frustrating.
Yeah.
But
because that's gold. That's not just throwaway stuff.
Yeah.
More brilliance.
And also because I was obsessive as a kid and I would record every episode of certain TV shows. So I actually wrote a letter to my local KCOP Channel 13 and asked them not to do that. And it was funny. Well, I mean, that in itself wasn't funny.
It was funny.
But I got a letter from them saying, yeah, sorry, we can't do that. This is what we're using this for valuable, advertisement time. And a few days later, I got a postcard saying they get too many letters and can't reply to all of them and will not reply to me. So I thought that was interesting right there.
Getting your wires crossed, KOC. Wait, what was it?
KCOP.
Getting your wires crossed, KCOP.
Right. And of course now there's DVDs. So, who needs to record anything off the television?
Aw. It's probably best that I can't because I had lots of obsessive VHSs back in the day.
And that was also the time where I rewatched shows. I don't have time to rewatch shows anymore. Very rarely do I rewatch anything. And it's kind of sad.
It is sad. I had a few Frasier's on tape as well. Because Frasier was a great show.
It was a very good show, yeah. That's my Sam opines about the possible future of TV theme songs. Do you want to start to talk about Frasier?
Into the nitty and the gritty.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Oh my. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again. Scrambled eggs all over my face. What is a boy to do? Frasier has left the building.
So like we said, actually I think we alluded to it, we didn't quite say it. Over the beginning, they would have like a like just the theming.
Jazz piano riff on the theme too.
And a line outline of the Seattle skyline, which you would, would be drawn on the screen, and sometimes it'd be fireworks or something, or like lights would come on, an elevator, remember, would go up the Seattle Space Needle, and it was different each show. And then the credits were, or the theme song was at the end, sung by Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer himself.
You were looking up who wrote it. Did you have any success?
Yeah, I was able to find an interesting some blogs about it. It was written by Bruce Miller. He also wrote the theme song to Wings, which I cannot recall.
No, neither do I. And I watched Wings.
Sure did he even have a theme song? And now
I mean, they had to have. Bruce Miller wrote it, right?
Or if it was just some sort of like musical intro.
Yeah, I don't remember. We might have to find out after this. Maybe it'll be the subject of 2 months from now's Themes Like Old Times.
But so he was brought in. He wrote the piano riff at the building. He wrote the piano riff at the beginning, and would lead into the full song at the end. The network had told him that they want something eclectic and jazzy, which that fits.
Yes.
But they specifically wanted to avoid any references to the subject matter of the show. So completely going away from our old here's what the show is. He's a therapist, and people call on the phone.
So they were really shifting paradigms at the time. With both the theme song itself and how it was presented to the audience.
And they're like, we don't want psychiatry radio shows, the name Frasier. We don't want anything directly.
Just in case the show tanks, we want to reuse this theme song for something else.
Ooh, that's hedging your bets. It's pretty smart.
No, yeah. I'm sure that wasn't it.
And so a couple of sites I found related his process. He basically wrote out the music itself, but was trying to work on the lyrics. So he called a friend of his, Daryl Finesse. That's Phinesse. But
that sounds
come
like
on,
a stage
it's
name.
Finesse, yeah, for sure. Bruce Miller's quote is saying he was really talented and really smart. So he called him up, gave him the pitch for the show, and asked for some ideas. And he immediately came back with, tossed salad and scrambled eggs. And Bruce Miller admits himself to not understanding. And after working it through, that was basically the idea. Like, that's the show itself. It's these people, these crazy people that call him up on the phone. And they're tossed salad and scrambled eggs. And going through the actual lyrics of the final song is describing, these crazy people called Frasier, but it's like, it's all right. I got you pegged. I know how to help you. But, I don't know what to do with all these crazy people calling me these tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
So his assignment was it could not be show specific, and he failed, is what you're saying.
Well, could not directly reference, like...
Okay.
And like, I hear the blues are calling on my psychiatry radio show.
Let it ring.
I'm Frasier Crane from Cheers, but I'm in Seattle now with some retconning.
Because we know his father was a psychiatrist. Both of his parents were psychiatrists.
That was certainly a presentation on Cheers.
I did hear, I think one explanation for it was that he was just lying about.
They did reference that when Ted Danson came back on the show. He did specifically say, I thought you said your dad was a psychiatrist.
Okay, that's...
And it did, and that was a pretty clever fix. It did tie into, the continued animosity between him and his cop dad. And sort of played into, like, of course I lied and said my dad was a psychiatrist. I mean, that's a weird thing to lie about to all your friends.
I think he also, like, had said that his psychiatrist father had a pet owl named... maybe named Sigmund.
Okay,
I could be making that part up.
That's if you're telling a lie, you just keep piling on top of it. That's what any person will tell you. Keep your lies as far from the truth as possible.
Yeah, that's 100%. As a psychiatrist, he'd know this too.
Exactly.
Okay. And normally at this, one of the things we might do is watch the opening credits. But since it was different for, since the closing credits is what we're dealing with and it's different from every episode, we're not going to do that.
And we could for our own edification, but it wouldn't really serve anything here.
No, it would not.
I did want to say, so Bruce Miller, initially when he wrote the song, had envisioned a great jazz singer like Mel Torme to do the song, but Network apparently insisted that it be Kelsey Grammer. And I think that worked out very well.
Do you think the Network insisted, or do you think Kelsey Grammer insisted?
Well, that's a possibility as well.
Yeah. The credits did change every episode, and in a few different... There were a few different versions of the theme song as well. Mm-hmm. Just minor things, like scrambled eggs all over my face. What is a boy to do? Like his little interstitial.
Good night, Seattle, we love you.
Or sometimes just, thank you, good night. Or, So we will choose one, or maybe and do that. So that was kind of an interesting choice, just to mix things up a little bit.
So we will leave that to use the audience to go pursue all the different versions.
Yes, if you want to get versions of them and download them.
If that's a thing a weird person like you would want to do.
So yeah, I mean, what else can we talk about? Frasier, good show.
Great show, and I really enjoyed the music to it. The lovely just... jazz interstitial at the beginning was so cool and crisp and lets you know you're in for this classy show. Like, we don't need a lot of music because we're all words. And I dug that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, and I hope this... It was an unfortunate thing to have happened because, like I said, the networks just were selling more and more ad time, making shows shorter and shorter. It's unfortunate that happened, and it kind of edged out the theme songs for a while, or at least at the very least shortened them. Like, remember Lost? It was just the closing in, closing in on that but on the other hand, that show really kind of doesn't lend itself to the whole theme song with a montage of action.
Well, we were flying on our way to Hawaii when suddenly some stuff happened. Now we're on an island and there's lots of stuff.
Here on Jack Shepherd's Isle. Yeah, so for better or for worse, that was what it was. But I like I said, I like that they're coming back. And
I like the freedom to make the choice appropriate to you, and that shows in theory might be able to do whatever they want.
Yeah. And
some could do more traditional, long-winded theme tunes, and some
like
could just...
your House of Cards, which is like, I think, a minute and a half or something crazy like that.
I really don't like the theme to House of Cards. Like, the show's already so dark, but just getting in on the theme song is, like, extra minor and gritty. And I know it matches the tone, but, like, I'd be depressed by the end of the song. Like, I'm not sure I want to watch this show.
And now, of course,
with Kelsey
Grammer
has his own stuff.
Yeah, but with Spacey, Kevin Spacey, I'm good.
I'm not allowed to watch anymore anyway.
No. So. With all the people coming out, we're not going to be able to watch much in Hollywood that comes out of Hollywood right now.
No one else I love or esteem, please do not come out with any more scandals.
Yeah, everyone, just be good people.
It's
Why is it so hard?
There's enough going on in the world. There's only so much we can take.
Yeah. So anyway, are you ready to perform the theme song?
Heck yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Hey, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Toss salad and scrambled eggs.
Mercy.
Oh,
and maybe I seem a bit confused.
Yeah, maybe. But I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again. Scrambled eggs all over my face. What is a boy to do? Good night, everybody! Good theme song.
Very.
A worthy follow-up to Cheers.
I think so. Very different, but still very good.
Good show, Lauren.
Good show, Sam.
Hey, great show, guys. Thanks for doing it, as always. And for you listeners, be sure to join us in a few weeks as Lauren defends the undefendable. It's the indefensible, I think that's the right word, hook. And she's currently hitting me with her right hook. Good night, everybody.
We love you.